In our last episode, we explored Europe around the year 0, a continent of tribes, kingdoms, and growing empires. At the center of this world stood one unstoppable power, Rome, preparing to dominate Europe like no civilization before it. By the 2nd century AD, the Roman Empire had reached the peak of its strength. From the misty hills of Britain to the scorching deserts of North Africa, and from the Atlantic Ocean to the borders of Mesopotamia, Rome ruled over more than 60 million people. This age of greatness began under Augustus, Rome's first emperor, who transformed a fragile republic into a stable imperial system. Civil wars ended, borders were secured, and a long era of relative peace began. An age historians later called Rome's Golden Era. At its height, Rome was not just an empire of conquest, it was an empire of connection, binding together dozens of peoples, cultures, and landscapes into a single system. An extraordinary network of roads, stretching over 400,000 kilometers, linked the empire from one end to the other. Built with stone, gravel, and precise engineering, these roads allowed Roman legions to march quickly, merchants to trade across continents, and messengers to carry imperial orders at unprecedented speed. Many of these roads still form the foundation of modern European highways today. Rome's cities were symbols of imperial identity. Whether in Gaul, Hispania, or the eastern provinces, Roman cities followed familiar designs. Paved streets, forums at the center of public life, temples to Roman gods, public baths, and grand amphitheaters where citizens gathered for entertainment. These cities were not just settlements. They were tools of Romanization, spreading language, customs, and loyalty to Rome. A complex system of law and administration held this vast empire together. Roman law defined citizenship, property rights, contracts, and justice, creating a shared legal framework across regions with very different traditions. Local elites were often integrated into Roman governance, ensuring cooperation rather than constant rebellion. At the heart of it all stood the city of Rome itself, the beating heart of the empire. With over 1 million inhabitants, Rome was the largest city the world had ever seen. Aqueducts carried fresh water from distant hills. Massive grain shipments arrived daily from Egypt, and monumental structures like the Colosseum and the Forum symbolized Rome's unmatched power and ambition, a marvel that would not be equaled for centuries. For many, life under Roman rule brought stability and opportunity. Trade flourished, cultures blended, and Latin spread across Europe, laying the foundations for many modern European languages. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Maintaining massive armies drained resources. Political power depended on loyalty, not law. Slavery remained the backbone of the economy. Rome was powerful, but also fragile. By the late 2nd century AD, the foundations of Roman power were beginning to weaken. A devastating pandemic known as the Plague of Antonine swept through the empire, killing millions of civilians and soldiers alike. Entire towns were emptied, farms were abandoned, and the army, once Rome's greatest strength, struggled to replace its losses. At the same time, the empire faced growing economic strain. Endless military campaigns and the cost of defending vast borders drained the treasury. To cope, emperors reduced the silver content of coins, triggering inflation and weakening trust in Roman currency. Trade slowed, taxes increased, and the gap between rich and poor widened. Political stability also began to unravel. Power increasingly depended on military loyalty rather than lawful succession. Emperors rose and fell at alarming speed, often through assassination or civil war. The reign of Commodus symbolized this decline. An emperor more focused on personal glory than governance, eroding the authority once associated with Roman leadership. Externally, pressure mounted along the empire's borders. Germanic tribes tested Roman defenses along the Rhine and Danube, while unrest simmered in the eastern provinces. Rome could still respond, but each response required more effort, more soldiers, and more resources than before. The Roman world still appeared powerful. Its cities stood, its legions marched, and its emperors ruled from golden palaces. Yet beneath this impressive surface, the balance that had sustained centuries of dominance was breaking apart. Rome had reached its peak, and now, slowly but inevitably, the long decline had begun. In the next episode, we will witness the fall of the Western Roman Empire, a dramatic story of invasions, collapsing authority, and the end of ancient Europe as the world had known it. If you want to know the full story of Europe, from ancient empires to the modern age, please like this video and follow the channel, and join us as history continues.